What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Hedera today, HBAR. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 15th day now of September. We are fresh into this new day, you guys. We got about, I don't know, probably what, like 23 hours, 45 minutes left in the day. We're looking at this here. This indicator is the EMA ribbons. It's the EMA 20 to 55 in increments of 5. So it's all these different EMAs, exponential moving averages, all put together, and it comes together in a nice like ribbon formation here. You can see, and the reason why we're talking about it is because HBAR is one of the very few, and when I say few, guys, it's very rare to find this, few cryptos that had a bearish ribbon that flipped bullish. Okay, it's very hard to do this. It's hard to do this in the stock market world. It's hard to do this in the crypto world. Any ribbon can flip, but on a monthly time frame, it's a little bit more difficult. And the reaction that you had here, right? You crossed up. Typically, when you cross up, you do pull back to the ribbon. Okay. In hindsight, it makes perfect sense that we did that. Typically, you do right here when we actually technically crossed. I suppose we would have crossed down. It would have been the red ribbon didn't exist yet, so I guess we would have had this as a cross right here. We crossed down right there. We pulled back into the ribbon after the cross, right? That's typically what happens, whether it's to the downside or the upside. We don't have enough history to like see the red ribbon, but anyways, I digress. Not only did we break through, but we back tested it for support. It's very healthy what you did there, and you found immaculate support. You found absolutely immaculate support. July was a very healthy month, and while August was a bit of a disappointment, it wasn't. You didn't give back a whole lot of price. You're actually just finding support here at prior areas of resistance, relatively speaking, and then prior areas of support as well back here. It's really not a bad thing. It's pretty damn good. And I've noticed too. I've noticed this. It's not always true, but sometimes where you found resistance before on your EMA, your yellow line, you'll find support there. You didn't find support here right at it, but close is close enough, I guess. Looking at the weekly time frame here and just zooming in, you can see that the ribbon, you went below the ribbon, you contracted, and now you're in this expansion phase. What's different about what you're doing here versus what you did back here, you were living in the ribbon a little bit, right? You kept week after week after week you're coming into it. You had a nice reaction, but then you dipped back into it. And then so you went below the ribbon for support. Here, you went into the ribbon, but you didn't even close in the ribbon, right? You've closed above the ribbon on a weekly perspective every week here. So you dipped into it without closing into it. Where here you closed into it this week. That was your first signal that you might go lower. So having this reaction that we've had as of last week, closing up about 10%, it's a very positive signal. It's a very positive signal indeed, and I think that this means that for weeks to come, you're going to continue to grow. For weeks, for months, for the end of the year and the end of the cycle, you're going to continue to grow, you guys. Everybody's talking about alt season, right? I see it on X.com. Everybody's talking about alt season's begun. Alt season we're in that FOMO phase right now. It hasn't, it's begun. It is the start, but we haven't even gotten started, you guys. We got so much to go. A lot of people are looking around like, what alt season? What are you talking about? Just wait. Just you wait, man. These are the rumblings, right? The OGs are talking about it, and they know what they're talking about, man. Finding support not just here, but a prior resistance there. Good things, good looks. I really do like the weekly ribbon a lot. I think it's very positively structured. We look at the daily ribbon. We're not going to look at the 3-day. I feel like the 3-day is always, I mean, we can look at it, sure, but I just feel like it's always inaccurate. Yeah, like you disrespect the hell out of it. Okay, cool, but whatever. It looks good. It looks good, but I don't really care. It could have looked bad, and I wouldn't care either, you know. Daily ribbon here, man, you had a very similar reaction as to what Bitcoin did with its ribbon. You had a false cross, which is also kind of rare, but it's a really good thing. Whenever you have a false cross like this, you just rip all the way back up. Man, this ribbon's about to cross bullishly. Again, you're getting that cross and you came back down to find support at the ribbon. It's possible that HBAR here goes down to touch 23.4 cents, 23.5 cents, whatever that is, right here in this area to find support. It's possible that we go down a little bit lower. It is a new week. It's a brand new week, right? We've just started this new week, 23 hours, 41 minutes left in the day. Brand new week here, 7 days left in the week. We just closed out the old week. It's very possible that we start off the week on a red note just so that we can come up and close it on a green note later. If we look at this actually, you know, a lot of these green weeks, not all of them, some of these big ones don't have wicks, but most of these green weeks have wicks to the downside. Most of them do. So starting off the week to the downside typically is actually a false signal or a proper signal that we will move up. It's not something that you should bank on, but again, I like to call it a superstition of mine. Whenever you move down first in the beginning of a week, it's a good signal that you'll close the week to the upside. Same thing with like the monthly. You want to open up the month down and you'll close it green. Leave a wick behind. Not always. I guess we want to just move up from start to finish, but typically that's not what happens. Typically you get wicks in almost every single candle. Look at how many wicks we got around here. Anyways, we could go lower. And maybe we do. 23.5 cents, 23.3 cents, whatever. Something in that area. Find support. The reaction we're looking for is similar to what we did here on the weekly, right? We came up above it. We want to bounce right off of it when we touch it, okay? We came up above it. We want to bounce right off of it if we touch it, okay? That's what we want to do. We look at this from a high to a low. Just throwing on some fibs here while we're here. Just below the 382. After hitting the 0.5, a lot of cryptos, you guys, have gone from their 0.5 to their 236 or even just above their 236, found support, and then moved up. So it's okay if we go below the ribbon. We don't want to close below the ribbon, right? The day could go below, and maybe we do. Maybe we go all the way down to 23 cents. We can go below there, but you don't want to close below there. You want to interact with this area just above it, in it, below it, whatever, and have a bounce off of it immediately. Okay, that's what you want to see. Let's look at the 4 hour. The ribbon typically stops being useful at the daily time frame, but let's look at the 4 hour. You know, the 4 hour looks bullishly postured. The fact that you're living in it like this tells me that you would go lower. And again, that 23.5 cent or lower price would come into play. So let's throw on our other indicators here. Our relative strength index, the stochastics, and the MACD. Let's throw this on there. I actually want to, can I save indicator template? Yeah, we're just going to do that. Oh, what? Can I just do it again? RSM. Let's do that. Save. Yes. Because I'm hoping that it keeps the MACD in automatic. I always have to click it in automatic, and I hate that. I don't hate it. It's annoying. Anyways, got to be careful with that word. That word is a special word, man. It's only reserved for special things, not just anything. If we're looking at this here with the 1 hour time frame, you know, you've had this very bullish look. Look at how bullish you're. Man, this is the exact ideal imagery of what a bullish RSI looks like. I don't care if it's the 1 hour time frame or the 1 month time frame. You see this consistently getting overbought, bouncing below the 50, yet not at the oversold zone, predominantly living above the 50. Beautiful. Now what are you doing? Now you're doing the exact opposite of what you had been doing over here. You're living below the 50. You're getting in the oversold zone. You're rejecting prices just above the 50. It looks like the exact opposite. So you probably do move lower. Overall, it seems to me as though we have like a 1, 2, 3, maybe an ABC-legged move. And if that is the case, what would this be if it's an ABC? High here to a low. Oh, we were so close. To a low there, high to low there. We put it right at the high, assuming that's the high. That put us down at 22.6 cents. So a little bit lower than what we're looking for. It could happen, though. Let's see if we can make sense out of that. The RSI, to me, looks bearish, going lower. Stochastics, I don't know. If this hour closes green, I guess they look good, and so would the MACD. Overall, the MACD is bearish. Overall, right now, the RSI is bearish. The stochastics are bearish, but if you close here, that's actually a really good look. I like that, but it's the 1 hour. The RSI is going to matter most, so it depends. You know, it depends, but I would think that we come down by the end of this. Let's see. Let's just look at the 15-minute time frame. I'm not getting a whole lot off of that. We could go up. I'm thinking we're going to go down, though. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame and see where we are just relative to this fib here. If we look at the low to the high, right at 382, huh? I don't know, man. Tell you what, guys, if we can close a 4 hour time frame above 24.4 cents, I'm wrong. We're not going to 23.5 cents. We're not going to 23 cents. We're just moving up. And that's fine. That's totally fine. That's a good bounce right off the 40 there on the RSI. It's a good bounce out of the oversold zone on the stochastics, and the MACD overall is bullish. I mean, the 4 hour looks much better than the 1 hour, if we're being honest. The 4 hour time frame looks a lot better than the 1 hour time frame does. Yeah. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I'm not impressed by this bounce, and I wouldn't be surprised in the least. 22.6 cents. Look, there it is again. I was thinking 23 cents at the lowest, right? But again, if that's the high, look at that. That takes you right there, ABC correction, right there in the golden ratio zone. And it's fine. If you go down there, it's fine. You're finding support at prior resistance right here at prior support as well in your golden ratio. It's fine to go down to about 22.7 cents, 22.4 cents, okay? You're at 24.2 cents now. It's totally fine to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the low. Man, I wish I was making this video in 3 hours, because if in 3 hours from now you're above 24.3 cents, you're not that far away, 24.38 cents. If you close this 4 hour time frame, or really any 4 hour time frame above there, you're moving up. Okay, so regardless of what I'm saying in this video, 24.38 cents on a closing basis, not wicking above there, on a 4 hour time frame closing above there, I'm wrong. You're moving up instead. That is your low, that's your higher low, and you're moving up. Great, fantastic, fine. I'm okay with it. Daily time frame. Daily time frame here. MACD's crossing above the 0. That's good. We want to see that. Stochastic's coming out. That's not good. You don't want to see that. And the RSI is kind of rejecting this area. Again, not good. You don't want to see that. So, and you're at this area where lower highs kind of are a thing. You know, I think that we keep going back and forth between this positive and negative look, but I think I've seen enough to really feel confident. And I was already pretty confident before, but I was losing a little confidence in that 4-hour time frame. I'm more confident now that we do go lower. I think we will see that 23.5 cent to 22.5 cent area. I personally don't think that we get below 22.6 cents, but something 22.6, 23.5, something in that area is probably what's coming. The low from yesterday was at 23.7, so just a little bit lower than that, nothing too crazy. And the difference between what we're doing here versus what we did here, here, and here is I think we're going to break out. We're not going to reject down, right? If you notice here, you found your high. 1 day later, you dropped 7%. You were lower, right? You had a lower low than your prior low. You found a high here. 1 day later, you were literally, or on that same day even, you found a lower low. Or 1 day later, technically, you had the lower low. You found your high here, rejected down immediately. 2 days later, you were moving down at a pretty fast pace. Here, we're moving down, 3%, but it's nothing compared to what we saw the last 2 times. So as long as today holds up, you can move down a little bit, but as long as today holds up and doesn't drop too dramatically, as long as we're not below 22.6 cents, I think that we're fine. And ideally, what I'd like to see from today, if we do go down, is that we move down and we come back up, leaving a wick behind to the upside, or to the downside, I guess. The wick would be to the downside. But time will tell. Again, I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong. And if I'm wrong, that price that would prove me wrong is 24.38 cents. 24.38. If you can get up there on a 4-hour time frame closing basis, I'm wrong. Until then, I'm thinking you go down. I don't have anything else that I want to say. I do believe that HBAR is going to grow a lot. Actually, I do have something that I want to say. I do believe HBAR's got some growth to go by the end of this year. I want to talk about those targets. Bull cycle high over here to the bull market low, or bear market low over here, high to low. The expectation here would be that HBAR by the end of October, I would expect that you're somewhere around like $1.21. Going into the end of the year, you should be at that $1.80 to $3.15 target area. Okay, it's very possible that you're above $1.80 by the end of October. It's very possible. I mean, you've moved up at a very fast pace earlier this cycle already, and I expect this move to be only more robust. But perhaps it takes a little longer. Perhaps it is more robust overall, but it's stretched out over a longer amount of time, right? Like this one. More robust move overall from a low to a high. It was a bigger move than this was, but it took more time. It took probably like twice the amount of time. Right here, this took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. This took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, 11 weeks to actually hit the high there. So in that same kind of fashion, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we had a bigger move overall here. And in reference to this move, that's about the same size actually. This move would take us, come on now. This move would take us all the way up to about $1.90. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if we were above $1.90 by the end of the year, by the end of this next phase, but it might take us until the end of the year, not the end of October. However, I would very much believe we're at new all-time highs. We're at $1.21 or higher by the end of October. I don't have anything else that I want to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? If you have any HBAR friends that need some HBAR hopium, they need some price targets to consider whenever it comes to the upside, send them this video. Get them jacked about the end of the bull market. We're literally igniting the alt season right now. It's happening. Just got to be a little bit more patient, my friends. We're almost there. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.